بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله أوله بلا أول كان قبله وآخره بلا آخر يكون بعده الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وعجزت عن نعته أوقاع الواثقين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب الله رب العالمين أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين سيما بقية الله العظيم بقية الله خير لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين ولعنة الدائم على أعدائهم وغاسل حقوقهم ومنكر فضائلهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في محكم الكتاب المجيد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Just as a premise to the discussion that we are having in regards to the importance of the Azadari of Imam Hussain, we tend to reflect a few points so that our youngsters could have and pay its dues towards Azadari, towards Salam. The Majlis and the Azadari is a way of expression, salutations, Salam. That is why we tend to see that the first thing in the Majlis that begins, it's called Salam. And the Marsiyah, before Marsiyah is Salam. And the last thing that happens is Salam. So it begins with Salam, it ends at this Salam. And as we all know, that Salam is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salam is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the meaning of Salam is that a being or an existence that is without any limitation. Salim, just Urdu mein bolenge Salim, without any fault. That is Salam. That's what Salam means. You know, Salamati as in health. It comes from the same root of Salam. So therefore, that's what Salam means. So one is symbolic, where the Majlis of Imam Hussain is Salam means that it is faultless. That's what it is, and that's what we are attending. So those who attend, they achieve Salamati as well, health as well. They become, free from all limitation by participating into this Salam. That's what happens, right? When we are giving Salamun Alaikum on each other, we are praying. Salam is nothing but a prayer, a dua for the one who are we addressing. So when we are, and the response to that is that it's the same as well. Wa alaikum salam, right? Peace be upon you as well. That faultless salamati be upon you as well. So therefore, the whole Azadari as a package is nothing but giving that salutation and salam to Abu Abdullah. On here, there is a point which was mentioned by Ayatollah Bahjat. When we recite in ziyarah, we say Assalamu alaikum Abu Abdullah, or the salam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon you Abu Abdullah. Abu Bahjat mentions very beautifully here that what does that really mean, that salam of Allah be upon Abu Abdullah? He says, who are we to give salam of Abu Abdullah? The daraja of Abu Abdullah Hussain Islam is so elevated. Who are really we to give salam to Abu Abdullah Hussain? We are nothing but the vehicle, or we are nothing but we are fulfilling the amanat, which is Allah as salam, and we are giving it in the right place. That's what we are doing. We are of no value. Is it possible that if I say Salam alaikum Abu Abdullah, then salam will come upon him? Who are we to give salam to Abu Abdullah? This salamati, or if it is this dua that we are asking, be upon our blessings and peace be upon Abu Abdullah. So it is me, it's blessing. Do I have any blessings and peace with me so that I can give to Abu Abdullah? I have nothing. I am nothing but faqr. I am nothing but in need. My being is so so limited. How can I have this salam and then I give this blessing and peace be upon Abu Abdullah? I have nothing. Where can I give this from? It is really we are fulfilling the amanat. We are partaking that which belongs to Abu Abdullah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are giving it to him. And the other meaning of salam, as they say that when we are saying salam alayk, meaning we are saying that you are salam in reality. You are the one who is limitless. You are the one who is faultless. Because as we recite, Allah is salam. Huwa salam wa alayka salam wa ilayka ya'udu salam. Allah is salam, from Allah comes salam, and it returns back to salam. So it's that ascent and that descent. And in this journey of ascent and descent is nothing but salam. So it's salam there, salam here, and then salam there. So these beings upon whom we send salutations and we say salam, it's that we are really pronouncing, we are really declaring that they are salam. And as a matter of fact, an insan kamil, a perfect being, a perfect soul, reaches that stage that he becomes the manifestation of that salam, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. He becomes that Khalifatullah, where he is not only just salam, but he is at the same time other asma ilahi. So this activity of Majlis of Abdullah is adai dain. It's fulfillment of the responsibility, and we are delivering it to whom it rightly belonged to. And this is an honor in itself. If I give a responsibility to my eldest son that you do something, or to my youngest son, or to my close friend, the reason I'm giving him that responsibility is because the amount of trust. And I regard that person that he has the ability to do so. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given us the opportunity. We've been blessed that we have the ability and opportunity to deliver this, which is salam, to the rightful owner, who is Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam. Recite salawat ala Muhammad wa alihi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Now, returning back onto the discussion that we are having, is that meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we mentioned that death is one of the first stages of that meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take place. However, we want to be blessed with the verses of the Quran. Let this serve as a reference, and at the same time, let this be a recap of what we have discussed so far. So I'll just read the verses of the Quran and the translation of it. This automatically will prepare us to discuss tonight, which is the Alam Barzakh, which is the purgatory world, the Misali world. What it is, what type of it is, which we mentioned last night, and we'll look into it. And how a person could be in a state of relief and release and enjoyment in the Alam Barzakh, or he could be in a state of pain. So now we said, Hatta idha jaa ahadahumul maut qal rabban irja'una la'alla amalu salih fima taraktu. When the death will come, the souls will ask that give us opportunity that we go back and do amal salih, which we haven't done. Then the other verse, وَأَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتِ. Give me the opportunity that, it says that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَنْفِقُوا, give in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in charity, مَا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ, the risk that we are giving you, مِنْ قَبْلَ, before death comes to you, you do that. And Najul Balagha فَغَيْرَ مَوْصُوفٌ مَا نَزَلَ بِهِمْ, in regards to the death. When death comes, it cannot be depicted and described what it is. And after that, we mentioned that how the soul of those who are the kuffar will be taken. In which we said that it says, اخرجوا أنفسهم اليوم عذاب الهون. Ikhraj, leave the body and enter into a realm which is azab, for those who are the kuffar. Or for example it says, وَلَوْ تَرَى إِذَا يَتَوَفَّى الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا الْمَلَائِكَةَ يَضْرِبُونَ, daraba means to hit, يَضْرِبُونَ وُجُوهُمْ وَأَدْبَارَهُمْ. The angels will slap their faces and their back and will ask them, the soul, to leave the body. Then we also pointed out too about good people. The verses, it says, تَحِيَّتَهُمْ يَوْمَ يَلْقُونَهُ سَلَامٌ وَأَدَّ لَهُمْ أَجْرًا كَرِيمًا. They will give tahiyyah on that day. They will greet them with salam. Once again, that salam, that peace, that limitless, that faultless state, it will be given to them. Or إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبَّنَا ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَنَزَّلُوا عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَلَا تَخَافُوا. When the malaika will come, for whom? For those people who said Rabbana ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا. Those who have established, those who have done the istiqamat, the malaika will come and say, أَلَا تَخَافُوا. Do not do khawf. The angels will speak to the person who is about to die. Do not do khawf, nothing to worry about. وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا. Nothing to be sorrowful about. Huzn is sorrowful. وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ. We give you the basharat of the paradise. إِلَا تُوَعَدُونَ. In which you will be there for a long period. So the malaika, they themselves will welcome them, will give them salams, and will give them the basharat of that paradise. Or الَّذِينَ تَتَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. Tawaffa is taking, we said, right? Taking of the soul. Malaika, and then you will say, يَقُولُونَ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ. The angels will say, سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ أُدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةِ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Enter the paradise which you knew about it. So the angels themselves will speak in that fashion to the person who is mu'min, to the person who is good. That's what we pointed out. Now, what are the things that will take away the pain of a person who is about to give life? We said one of the things that is the place where he worshipped. That's the place the soul should be taken. We talked about namaz and the concept of namaz. Then I will add few more hadiths tonight. Is loving the personality of Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. This is something that will make his body leave easily, because we have said that his presence of the Imam is there. So when I have that love for that person, obviously I will go towards him. Right? I will not, be afraid of going towards him. Because I have love for this person. Then you have Sileh Rahim. Two things Sileh Rahim I wanted to point out to. It was very important. That is joining the kin. Good relationship with the near ones. That's what Sileh Rahim means. It is very important. And unfortunately, because we are so preoccupied with our worldly life, that we don't really pay attention to this. Joining of the kin, Sileh Rahim, having a relationship with the close ones, with the relatives, even if that be with a phone call. That will help that person to leave this world at ease and peace. There's so many traditions in regards to the Imams, that there was a person who was from the family of the Prophet. However, in terms of his character, he wasn't a good person. And he would come to one of the, I think it's during the time of the seventh Imam, he would come to one of the companions of the Imam who was the representative in the city of Qom to ask for money. And this companion would not give him anything, because if he takes the money, he's going to go out and spend in the wrong way. He used to drink. And here, this companion attends to the seventh Imam, or the Imam wants to go to Hajj and be blessed for it. And the Imam did not allow him to meet. And he says that you have disrespected, you have broken the heart of one of our family member who is a Sayyid. You haven't attended to his need when he came to your door. Unless he forgives you, I'm not going to allow you to see me. So this points out to an action of Amar bil Maruf, number one, we'll find out. And number two is the issue of Sile Rahim. That even after that person is not good, but still Imam respects on the basis of its next to kin. So this man, he goes and knocks the door of this person and he says that my Imam is not allowing me to see him, please forgive me. Then he says that, really? Is that what happened? He still likes me even after me being this bad? Me being in this corrupt sort of activity that I carried out? He said, yes, unless you forgive me, I will not be able to meet the Imam. And then this brought that revolution in this man's life. Then he confined himself to the haram, to the masjid. Today is the haram of Hazrat Masuma, doing i'tikaf. And while doing i'tikaf, he died. And he's buried in the haram of Hazrat Masuma. So the act of Sile Rahim and the revolution that it could bring in man's life, which is Amar bil Maruf, and this is how Imam have done Amar bil Maruf. Unfortunately, what is of today is that we say that Amar bil Maruf means you cut your relationship if they are not good. You tell them if they don't listen, then you don't associate with them. We are dividing ourselves, we are dividing our communities. On what basis? On what token? On the token of Amar bil Maruf. But on the contrary, look how Imam have done Amar bil Maruf. He has carried out an act of Sile Rahim. I mean, our sixth Imam have that in Hadith, in his will. One of them, the thing that he says about namaz, and then prior to that he says that from my heritage, give some of its portion to Abdullah, who was the one who conspired and was one of the person who had a hand in the murder, in the shahadat of the sixth Imam. Then the people said that he is responsible in the state that you are. Imam recited the verse in Surah Ra'd, that how can I cut that something that is joined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have joined each other. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made him my relative. It is not my choice. It is Allah who made me. How can I cut that? If He has made me, I have to respect that relationship. I should not be the one to cut that relationship. So therefore, Sile Rahim is that. So it should be carried out from that point of view. It's the question of mercy. So when I'm joining God, as I haven't cut the mercy, I will join God, which is, death, which is, meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It will be blissful, it will be painless for me. So that is one of the acts. So we said, there's an act which is Sile Rahim, which is loving Amirul Mu'mineen, which is, taking the soul or the person who is about to die to the place of worship. These are the things that could be done, and there are other traditions as well which really talks about. And then we also pointed out to that who takes the spirit, Allah and the Malaika or Malak, who is the near one. Now tonight in regards to the Barzakh. In Quran we tend to find two verses that points out to Barzakh. One is in Surah Mu'minun, which points out to وَمِن وَرَائِهِمْ بَرْزَخٌ إِلَى يَوْمَ يُبْعَثُونَ. There will be a purgatory period, a Barzakh period after they die, till they are mab'us again, till they are raised from the grave again. Till that period they will be in Barzakh. What is this Barzakh? Now, the scholars have described it to be a state where a person enters into this world with a body just like as we enter in dream. The way we dream and our body in our dream, in the same fashion in Barzakh there is no this material body, but rather there is a form. There is a body that is a spiritual body which have a structure to it, to a form to it. And that as this world is an immaterial world, just like the alam misal, just like our imaginary world, just like our dream, when a person dies, he enters into this world. And we have said that when a person enters Barzakh, if he is ill and if he had a problem with his feet or with his eyesight, with his hand, all of these problems will be taken away. It is like the Imam describes that, when a person enters into this new body, it is like a person when he had too much of dirt, oil on him, and he takes a shower, and how fresh he is. So that's how he will feel when he enters into this new body. There is no pain at all for him, for a person who is a mu'min, who enters into this new world, into this new realm of barzakh. And this is the continuation of that journey for that mulaqat now. We have to keep that in mind. So here, this stage or this realm which he enters into, which is considered to be a realm of barzakh, for those people who are the good one, as we said last night, that they will have their own sort of vicinity, their own areas, their own loved ones who have joined there, who have gone before us. They will be present there, and one will be benefiting from each other. And there's a tradition that it says that those who are the good ones, they will have the opportunity and the blessing to visit Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam at least once a month, once a year. If their daraja is very good, they will be able to see the blissful face of Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam. So that means the Ahl Bayt and all those who have gone before us, our elders, they are in this realm which is called barzakh, and it's a typical social setup that the way we have it is exactly like that there. And for those who are the kuffar, those who are the bad people, they also have a similar world, a similar setup. And they are together in a state of insecurity. To the extent that the verse really says that Rabbana la taqum lana sa'ah. They will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please bring that hour of Qiyamah so that we come out of this insecurity and pain that we are having in barzakh. Imagine Gaddafi sitting next to Saddam Hussein. Imagine that. How much they will be fighting with each other. Gaddafi, whenever he had this Arab conference, the Al Saud, he came to fight with each other. So obviously in this dunya they are fighting like that. In barzakh they will be in the same fashion. It is a state of insecurity. How insecure they will be with each other over there. To the extent it reports that the type of language that they will use, it will be so bad. To insult each other. Where do I say this from? What is the proof the scholars give in regards to the language? Is that on the day of judgment, it says they will be blaming each other. That is because of you I did this, it's because of you I did that. And it will be so bad that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finally will stamp on their mouth. That's, just be quiet and do not use sort of this bad language and blame each other for that. And then they will be judged. So therefore, the state of insecurity for those who are the Fir'aun or the Al Fir'aun, for instance, it says, النَّارُ يَعْرِضُونَ عَلَيْهَا غُدُوًا وَعَشِيًّا يَوْمَ تَقُومُ السَّاعَةِ. Nar, fire, will be given to them, عَلَيْهَا غُدُوًا وَعَشِيًّا, in the morning and in the evening. Day and night, fire will be sent towards them. وَيَقُومُ تَقُومُ السَّاعَةِ. And then the Sa'a, and then the hour which is Qiyamah, then it will come later on. Still it's not Qiyamah for them. Still they are in barzakh. Because Qiyamah is a time where they enter the Nar. Still Nar is being sent to them in the morning and evening. So they have this time where, they are not being punished. But they've been let go. But still that state of being let go is like they cannot live comfortably. They just want to come out of it. It's like pain. It's like continuous torture for them. But they are still alive. But there's nothing but that they have to suffer. And there's no death for them. But in regards to the Qiyamah, Allah Ta'ala mentions and uses this verse pointing out to the reality of barzakh, and he says that in Qiyamah they will enter Nar itself, the hellfire itself. Here the Nar will be sent to their grave, or in barzakh the whole grave will be filled with Nar and it will be taken away. So now this is in regards to this أغرقوا فادخلوا النار. This is in regards to the people of Nuh. They became, they drowned it, and then, they were into the hellfire after that, after they had been punished. Till that time, till that hour which was risen again, and they will ask for that. They will ask that, oh Allah, that sa'ah, that hour, that hour comes quickly so that we be judged. That what is our final abode. We cannot tolerate this. We cannot, but they don't know that every step that they take further and further, it becomes more difficult and difficult for them. They think that there is a relief for them, but there is no relief for them. But they still be living in that state. Now, a few things that that kind of are very important in regards to the things that will make the azab of barzakh intensified on the basis of traditions that we have. Sixth Imam mentions that we are worried about barzakh. Many Maulanas recite that, we know that hadith. The day of judgment, our shafaat is there, but I'm worried about my mu'mineen in regards to this barzakh, this state, the purgatory state, right? We know this hadith. And he says, the hadith continues, the person who regards or counts namaz as little. Sabuk shumordan, sabuk light, who counts namaz as of not that important. Oh, it's really the heart and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Allah knows, and namaz is not really important. Or counting little as namaz is that, I will read it, just before sundown, I rush and I do my Zohar and Asr. But when the time of Salat comes, I'm either playing, I'm either watching television, or it is not that important. So a person who counts the Salat as little, doesn't give the ahmiyat to the prayers, he stands on the janimaz with shorts. But somebody comes at the door, he wears a nice trouser and he opens the door and he welcomes them. You're meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you got to be clean, you got to pay attention to, you got to give ahmiyat and importance. He stands for prayers in house, for example, which is banyan and pajama. That's it, It's just namaz, But it doesn't really pay attention that ihtimam, putting the perfume, wearing clean clothes, wearing the mustahabbat of namaz, which the imam used to do. They pay respect to, that's paying respect to the namaz, having a janamaz. Oh, he finds somewhere a mohar, he's just, there's so many janamaz in the house, but, he doesn't want to use it. Just throw the mohar there, or if there's no mohar being the sajdaga there, he will just rip a paper, a tissue paper, and just pray. Or he prays, the way he opens the janamaz is like all, scruffy, or he just leaves the janamaz there, and, that's not paying attention, paying importance to the salah. One really have to pay importance to it. There's an etiquette and a proper way of entering it. So when one gives that ihtimam, that importance to the prayer, then that prayer will have its own effect. Then the prayer will show its chemistry, its effect. Like it says that, salat tanha anil fahsha wal munkar, right? It is the prayer that will protect us from corruption and those things which are evil. But our salat is not really protecting us. We continuously been bombarded by the evil and corruption. There is no change coming in us. So there has to be something wrong. So I have to practice it. I have to do my prayers the way I have been asked to by paying importance to it. Then you have not helping those who are mustadaf, those who are weak. It says that the hadith of the Prophet, which says that when a person will suffer in barzakh, and it will be and he will be asking that what is this suffering from? That they will whip him, or they will put that fire in his grave. Then he will be informed that this is that you just passed by a person who was in need without paying attention to. What happened in regards to Yusuf and Yaqub? That story of Yaqub alayhi salam and Yusuf. Yaqub alayhi salam was a prophet, father of Prophet Yusuf. And he loved Prophet Yusuf so much, right? And you know the story, they had these children of Yaqub, the brothers of Yusuf, they were jealous of Yusuf and they punished him, right? Fourth Imam says that Hazrat Yaqub had the habit of giving charity. Whoever comes to the door, he would attend to their needs. It was one of the sunnah, the practice of Islam. One night, he was having meal, supper with the family. A person came at the door and he asked, and Hazrat Yaqub ignored, didn't answer his call. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished Yaqub by taking Yusuf for that long period. This was to teach Yaqub a lesson, that you have ignored a Banda Khuda, you have ignored a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who came to your door and asked for, and you were busy with your family. And then he was punished by the separation of, that was very painful for Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam. So it says that, the hadith says, a person who ignores, a person who is mustadaf. And obviously it's not just the money, that one gives. There's support that we tend to organize, for example, which requires indeed, it requires a methodology used and all that. The support for the needy ones, for the Palestine, the march, the demonstration, all these are nothing but support. Even if it is not organized in the good fashion and the way it's supposed to be, it is important that we pay heed to, that we pay attention to. That on the Day of Judgment, we will not be, or in Barzakh, for example, we will not be asked that you had free time. And it was secure, you could have, but still you did not. So that paying that ahmiyat and importance was very important. Then the other thing, it says that ghibat, backbiting, will be in utter pain and difficulty, that person will be in Barzakh. Then, this is very important. This is the hadith of Amir al-Mu'mineen himself. He says, the azab of the hereafter is for the person who spread the rumors or spread the news from one place to the other, which we call Sukhanchini, I think in Farsi, in Arabic, probably in Urdu is the same. Spreading rumors or taking the word from one place to the other, but the important part is here, where he says a person who doesn't pay attention to the najasat. Particularly, it's a bit shameful for those people who stand up and urinate. And the drops of urine that remains, that person is in a state of great azab in Barzakh. He will suffer for that. How many of our masajid and our centers, when we want to use the restroom, is in a filthy state? Very unfortunate. It is not only that we are doing two sins here, which is we are not paying attention to the najasat, which we are supposed to, being a Muslim. And number two is we are giving trouble to another mu'min who's going to use after me. Izai mu'min. Troubling another mu'min is haram. Just like how it is haram to eat pork and things like that, haram is punishable. The same way, hurting another mu'min, another believer is haram. So obviously when I want to use the restroom and I see that in that filthy state, I'm troubled with it. It is difficult for me to reuse it. And it is something that Muslims have not paid attention to this. Every masjid where you go, whether that be in India or Pakistan or here, we tend to see that. But I have seen, even in Iran there are some, but I have seen this in Iran, that there's always a person at the rest, even on the airports, or these sort of rest areas that they have, these highways, there's always a person near the restrooms. And he stands there with a sort of like a plastic jar or something. People put money in there. He's always cleaning that place. But this is something it's damage control. That shouldn't be needed as well. When I'm using it, I'm responsible of leaving that place clean. So then when the next person enters, he should be not in trouble. I'm taking care of his spirituality. I'm taking care of the najasa, that it shouldn't be there so that he should benefit from. So these are the little things that we don't really pay attention to, but they play a major role in our, in our future, in our that meeting to take place. Sallallahu Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
There are other, things that we don't really want to get into detail. Maybe few I will just point out to in regards to the relief and release, as we have talked about the azab and how it will happen, in barzakh. In regards to the relief and release, one of the things that is mentioned is really salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
When a person recites, when a person sends salutations upon the Prophet and the Al of the Prophet, this is recorded and this is seen as a relief and release in barzakh. Seeing of our action, where Allah Ta'ala says that there is enormous amount of traditions by which it is unanimous by the Muslim scholars that you will see your own actions. To prove something, even in fiqh, it is the ijma. If there are tradition, number of traditions, although these number of traditions that is there may be of a weak source, but there are so much that all scholars, they accept this is a reality. So in regards to seeing of our actions in barzakh, whatever we do, like for example salawat, there are so many traditions that we will see our own actions in a form of beautiful gifts and helpers. That famous hadith of the sixth Imam to Abu Basir, that when a person dies, 6 illuminating bodies enter with him. And these 6 illuminating bodies who are young and beautiful youth, they will come and assist him in barzakh. The nur on the right, the nur on the left, the nur on the front, the nur on the back, the nur at the feet, the light at the feet, and the crown that he will have.